Today we're going to talk more about flowchart. You need to know knowledge about the flowchart and how it works, because that is where most of the transactions are. And you can see here we have the purchase order transaction. We have about the estimates, which still work as closely as a sales order, and you have the about create sales receipt, and that is where I want to start. As you can see about the create sales receipt, it is about the bill your customer and receive payment at the same time. It means somebody have come to the amount, you have picked the item you want, and now you require to do what? To record a receipt, so that you can show at least you have bought at a genuine item according to the product you have gone with. In this case, you require to create sales receipt. Just click there, and you have something called coach. In this coach tips to help you at least to know which is the second step. The moment you click there, it will show you now the second step. This is where you want now to go to the what? This is when you receive the payment at the time of sale. Create a sales receipt. After you create sales receipt, you need to go to the record deposit. It means because you have already received the money, you require to deposit them in the bank. After you give customer a sales receipt, record the deposit in your bank account, at least where the money is more safe. In this case, just look, the other thing is about the estimates. When you click about the estimates, you can see about when you buy a customer project, or start by creating the estimate, bill your customer, turn into the estimate into an invoice. That is what you can see now. After moving from this step, which is now the estimate or a sales order, you go to the next step, which is now you create an invoice. Invoice based on what? It is based on what the customer have already ordered, which is a sales order or an estimate in this case. As you can see, they create an invoice based on the estimate to the billing of your customers. In this invoice, it will reflect how much the customer should pay for the various products he or she have ordered. From there, the next step, it will be about receive payments. Receive payment from who? When you receive payment, record the invoice as paid. It means you receive payment from your customers which you have already delivered item on credit. In this case, you have delivered item on credit and they require to pay them later. In this receive payment, it can be in form of a check or cash. It means you have to record as paid, so that the customer when come and see can be seen cleared as per the item he was being delivered. In this case, after you receive the payment, whether cash or check, it means you have to record deposit to show that you have already received the amount in full, or maybe the amount you receive, whichever how many installment you choose to pay with. As you can see, there is after you enter an invoice. After you enter an invoice, now you can see that you require to record deposit in your bank account. Those are some of those bank accounts. As you can see there, we have various bank accounts which are recorded there. For the bank accounts balances, you can see they have different amounts as per this. This amount as the opening balance, and you have them as per the transaction which have been made from different accounts. That means those are how the flowchart works. And we have something else about the enter time. When you click about the enter time, we have something about use weekly timesheet, and we have time and enter single activity. It means there are people who work together very closely with the time, and how many hours you have worked for that day is the one who have been paid as per the amount you negotiated with your client, with your employer. That means you can work, you can do, for example, you can maybe within an hour it will be 200 shillings. It means if you work for 10 hours, it means you multiply 200 shillings at that time of the hours. It means if you work for less time, you will be paid less. You work for more time, you paid more amount. That's how the time works on that in that flowchart. Something else about purchase, about the purchase order. As you can see this, we have this purchase order. Purchase order is a document sent by the owner of the company, which is now searching computer college, to one of our vendors or suppliers. In this case, vendors and suppliers, they mean the same. In this case, you can see the company choose to buy stock expense, create a purchase order, which is PO, and send it to a supplier or a vendor. It means if the case we have the less items in our stock, we may choose to order for more item from our vendors or suppliers who supplies in our computer college, in this case as the name of the company. From there are two options. When you receive items, you can see you will receive when your order arrives match it with PO and receive item as stock. Receive item as stock because now you have gotten more stock which have already in that bill. We have two options. Sometimes you can see your supplier have given only the delivery note for items, but not a bill. In this case, you receive item without the bill. That means there is a delivery note and you require to wait for the bill to come so that you're gonna pay. In this case, there is another place whereby you receive item with bill. You receive item with bill. This reflects different perspective because you have already gotten the bill for your items, so you have no other option. You require to skip step 3 and go directly to step 4 for payment of the bills. When you receive you pay the bill. That is one of the things happens in your account. The amount will reduce because you have paid the bill. Unlike when the customer pays you, the amount increases in the account, but when you pay, the amount decreases in your account. On the other hand, that's how the transaction goes. When you receive item without the bill, I repeat that what you need to do, you have to go to step 3. This step 3 will be in a position to show you how you can enter the previous the bill because to show that you receive item as you wait the bill to follow. That is what you should work on that. Then we have about how you can manage your VAT, because VAT is very crucial. VAT is very crucial. You need to know how you manage your VAT because as the taxman comes, you require to show how much you have been deducting your client, how much you should pay as per your VAT, both for employees and for the item sold. Those are some of the VAT tracked, and this is where you require to know how much you should pay even before, so that you can be in a position to do your tax return. We have the chart of account. In this chart of account, one thing to realize about the chart of account, that is where most of the transactions are being done, and it can be recorded there, you can be seen clearly there. In this case, you can use chart of account to create a bank account and show some of those transactions. Also, you can use this chart of account to reflect, to do some changes or to edit some of your fixed assets in your company. So it means chart of account requires to have different transactions. Those different transactions have different functions. For example, we have said it's about the fixed asset. It can be recorded here, it can be edited here, and it can show how much is have been deposited, different fixed asset items. We have the items and service. In this items and service, another thing you acknowledge is that items and service now reflect what? As you can see, there's only view or modify your QuickBooks account, bank income and expense. Those are some of the chart of account information you require to do. You can view, you can modify for the QuickBooks accounts, both bank income and expenses. The other thing is about you can view, modify list of items and services for sale. It means that where you go, you modify your items, you modify your service, and also you can create new list of items and services you are dealing with for your company. in this case, or your institution in this case. We have about the adjust quantity on hand. Adjust quantity on hand, or especially on the stock item. That's where you maybe modify as per the items which you have already gotten. Maybe you have 5 of them, but you have received 3. You can still adjust for those items in case there is some changes or some errors. In this case, you can see record the deposit of one or more customers' payment in this bank account. That's where once you receive the cash, you will require to deposit in your account. We have about the reconciliation, match transaction in your QuickBooks account against their bank statement. That's where you need to match the transaction you have been doing together with the bank statement, so that you can see whether your amount is aligns together, or maybe there is some problem, so that at least you can be in a position to go and raise your complaint in case the amount doesn't match together, and you can be in a position to ask some of those questions maybe you think require clarification. That's why you require to have a reconciliation in this, and that's why you require to go and see, because there are some interest in the bank and some they have something called bank service charges required to still be indicated there. We have the current account register. In case about opening a bank account register, or view or sorted the list of learning balances, you can still click there. They have about the writing checks. Writing checks, you can see there. We have about writing checks of expense that you have not entered a bill, QuickBooks, or record a cash transaction. In this case, in case you want to write for a check can involve different people. One, you can be paying some of the bills. You can be paying your employees. Those are some of issues where you require to write a check. Either you are paying for a certain bill, for example, Kenya Power Lighting Company, you are paying for rent, and you are paying employees, you are paying of some of your items delivered from you by vendors. You require to go to write a check. It is the most preferable way. Then we have review checks and payroll payments that has been recorded in QuickBooks, and select the check you want to print. That's why you require to go there so that you can print some of the checks. Learn about the payroll. You can see, learn more about efficient and the cost-effective solution in the house assisted by the payroll processing. You got to know more about the payroll so that you can be preparing payroll for employees in advance, and you can require to know about the statements and the statement charges. That is another crucial information to know about accumulated charges that will include statements. You need to know some of those statement charges, because sometimes maybe you require for a statement there are some charges, either for printout and for those charges, either bank charges or some different statements. You require to at least to get all those charges, and you need to know more about them. And we have about those statements. You can see you can create a new statement to show your customers' history on the account activity, charges, payments, and balances. In this case, customer can come and tell me, I need to know about my statement, how much I have been paying as far as my items, the items product delivered to me, and how much is the balance for me, and how much which specific date or which product you have been delivering to me. Those are some of the statements you require to acknowledge them, because they are very crucial. In this case, you can go click about the employee, because you want now to go to employee center to view employee list and manage employee data, transaction, and payroll. In this case, it will be crucial for you at least to record a new employee or add a new employee in your company, so that you can be in a position to have the data or the information about the employee. We have the customer. You can click the customer center to see the list, and still to create a new customer list, so that you can have the backup of the information about a certain client. The vendors is very crucial, so that anytime you want, you can get the contact of the vendor, you can get the contact of the supply information, so that in case you want to pay, to be a bit easier for you to pay without no problem. That's how the flowchart works. It is I think you understood about pay bills and about everything requires in that flow chart. It is about the QuickBooks. We are the Search in Kenya, assist you to get more ideas about it. Thank you.